On this episode of Exactly How, you're going to learn how to invest like Warren Buffett, how to get ahead of the curve, and how to make a lot of money every month on this episode of Exactly How.
You're listening to the Exactly How podcast, where you'll hear the underground, closely guarded wealth building secrets of successful people around the globe. Discover exactly how to improve your mental, physical, and financial health. Feel better, make more money, live, give, and prosper in today's exciting, fast-paced world filled with opportunity for those who know exactly how.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Connected Investors YouTube show and podcast, Exactly How. During this episode, you're going to discover exactly how and why some of the biggest investors like Warren Buffett are moving into mobile homes and how you can do the same thing. For those of you who are new, my name is Ross Hamilton, today's host and CEO of ConnectedInvestors.com, the world's largest social network of real estate investors. And today we have the privilege to learn from a guy who has done hundreds of real estate investments, written a few books, and made it to the Inc. 5000 list. He has maintained a phenomenal track record through the ups and downs and lefts and rights, and I'm really excited to have him on the call here. Prior to his career as a real estate investor, he was a police officer and a corporate soap salesman. I need to learn a little more about that. That all changed when he decided that he hated the life of corporate America and would rather die than continue living in that existence. That's one of those burn the bridge, burn the boats type moments where you just jump all in. I would describe our guest as a really hard worker. His name is Brant Phillips, and today he's going to show you how and why some of the biggest investors are investing in mobile homes. Thanks so much for being with us, Brant.
Yeah, Ross, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this show. There's so much happening right now in the finance world and just in Wall Street with mobile home and mobile home parks. We've done a few little shows on it in the past. But I'm most excited about this one because we're diving into this industry in a whole different way. So thanks again for spending time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we dive into this, you contribute a lot of your success to your productive habits. Why do you think this has played such a big role in your success as a real estate investor and as an entrepreneur?
So for me, habits are everything. I heard a saying one time that, first man builds the habits, then the habits build the man, maybe vice versa, but something like that. So I thought it was pretty good to create, things that we can do, simplify procedures, do them over and over and over again to create results. That's what our businesses really are. They are things that we and our team do on a repetitive basis. These little bitty things that are just become very significant over time. Like when that compounding effect happens over and over and over. Absolutely, it's critical.
Yeah, habits are really important. Do you have like a morning routine, a nighttime routine? Like, what are some of the habits that really, I have a few that have really changed my life, but do you have any that have really changed yours?
Yeah, I do. So, maybe 6-7 years ago, I was going through a period of kind of burnout, I guess I'd say, with real estate, which was my corporate burnout happened from day one. My first day on my corporate job, I was like, this kind of sucks. I hate this. But real estate, like I loved real estate and I was passionate about real estate and I was successful. And I was like, why am I becoming unhappy again? What was going on here? And Ross, what I realized at that point in time was I got so focused on making money and being successful that I began to I wasn't investing time and focus on the other areas of my life that were absolutely critical to me. And I was going to essentially burn the bridges that mattered to me most. And that was that of, my faith, that with relationships with my family and my own health and fitness. So years ago, I basically began following a model called the F4, and is basically making sure that I spend time each and every day to invest into my faith, invest into my relationships, those I love, my wife, my 5 children, other people in my life, invest in my fitness every day. I'm going to break a sweat. I'm going to do something. I'm going to exercise every single day. And so for those core areas, and the more time and energy and focus that I invest in those areas, the more productive that I am in the business world, the more focused I am. And even though I know the life of an entrepreneur is not it's not always balanced. It's oftentimes like very imbalanced, but it doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice all those other things. So that's my commitment every day. The morning time I go through some daily mantras and rituals and things like that I go through. I usually don't, my exercise type of stuff, I usually don't do until later in the day. And I got a lot of friends who like to wake up in the morning and hit the gym. And I don't know, I don't think I'm lazy, but in the morning, like that's when the brain is firing most. So that is my most productive, creative time. And I just cherish that time in the morning to be thinking and reading and creating. And then I realize about midday, I hit a little bit of a burnout. So I'll go hit the gym, I'll go hit a jog, I'll go hit a run or a swim. And then it actually creates energy, which people don't really understand that. But a lot of times when you're exercising, it actually.
I'll just jump in and just say that it's very addictive when you first start getting into real estate and you start making a lot of money. You're like, wow, this is great. I want to keep making this money. I want to keep growing my net worth. I want to keep, setting my family up. So it's when you first get into real estate, you first start getting that taste of that money. You do have to do a soft reset after a while to say, well, hold on. What's important? What's most important here? Because now that my finance issue is solved, which is very important for a lot of people to be able to help their faith, help their family, help their friends, right?
Yeah.
But once you've kind of gotten the other side of that, you have to do a reset. So that was really, I like the 4F thing right there. That sounds like something worth looking into. I'll make sure to have some links to anything online about that in the show notes of this show. And actually, that's a perfect time for me to let you guys know that if you're listening to this in the podcast, visit our YouTube channel, please, because we show you things that you can't quite interact with when you're just listening. And in the description of the YouTube video, we pack it with all sorts of valuable giveaways, bonuses, links to things. The most important thing to do, though, is to visit exactlyhow.com, because we're taking this episode, we're going to pull all of the best information out of Brant's head and put it in an action plan so you can actually implement what you're learning here, because if you're not implementing, you're essentially just wasting time. So make sure to visit exactlyhow.com and get all the show notes. You can also throw your name in the hat to win a software that we sell at Connected Investors that costs $3,000 for the package we're giving you. It shows you every type of deal out there, including mobile homes and mobile home parks. And you can pinpoint the owner. You can find their contact info. You can give them a call. You can get a deal done. It's called PIN. People call it the pre-MLS because it's all non-MLS deals. So you can go ahead and throw your name in the hat to win that software. We're going to give it away here shortly. And one more thing I want to just mention here as Brant's getting his internet connection back up is in the description of the YouTube video. This is one of the free giveaways. Now, if you're listening to this, you can't see this. So I'm going to tempt you to go to the YouTube show as well. No, but it's the book, The Inside Guide to Funding Investment Real Estate. This is a huge book. I got paid a lot of money to write this up front. This isn't a self-published book. This is professionally done to give you everything you need to know about funding investment real estate, whether it's a mobile home or an apartment complex or a single family rental. Check out this book. It's in the description. I'm giving it to you for free. All right, great. Now let's go ahead and jump into the presentation here and make sure you understand how to capitalize on this very exciting time in the economy. Again, people like Warren Buffett, BlackRock, some of these big institutional funds are moving their money into mobile homes and mobile home parks. They've done the math. They've done the research. Now it's really important for you to be able to benefit off of kind of riding off their lead, following their lead here into this fantastic real estate investment. So let's go ahead and first, before we jump into it, mobile homes, right? I just want to make sure we understand we're all on the same page here. When you're saying investing in mobile homes, are you talking about the land, the parks, the individual, trailers that have titles and not deeds? Kind of take me away on how you define the type of investment that you're making.
Yeah, so we're primarily invested in mobile home parks, just basically renting the dirt, maybe providing owner financing for the homes for the buyer, so they can be a homeowner renting the dirt. But we're also buying real property, half acre, 1 to 2 acre lots of land with a home on it. So we're selling real property. So we're financing for them the home and the land. And maybe they're getting financing, maybe they're not, but typically we're providing the financing for that. We're not buying what some people call the Lonnie model, where we're not buying homes in other people's parks. We're primarily looking to own the park, own the dirt, and rent the dirt in a park, or sell the dirt if it's like a 1 acre lot, 1 acre piece of land with a home on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So in a lot of cases, you basically just own the land. You don't have to do repairs to the trailer.
That's the most ideal thing. I got started, my mentor taught me to buy and hold single family rental properties because it was going to be this great passive income lifestyle kind of business. And so I bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And I bought about 25 of them. And I'm like, all right, my net worth is going up. So I like that. But when does this passive, when does the passive thing start, right? And I'm like, there's nothing passive with this, really. And where I was at in my point, I started with nothing. So these properties all fully leveraged, all that kind of stuff. And I was doing everything at that point. So, so I began looking for more ways to make money and, start flipping houses and doing developments and stuff like that, and got more into the active side of things. But a few years ago, I started kind of like, wait a second, hold up. I got into this business to create a passive income business that would help support the lifestyle I wanted, right? And it's just kind of funny how I went down this rabbit hole of mobile home parks and mobile homes on land, and I've found it to be pretty freaking passive. I mean, there's hard work in the beginning. Got to find the deals, but there's a lot less competition. You got to set up management. I do have a partner who's doing a lot of the boots on the ground managing the park managers. So I am really able to operate as a business owner, raising the capital, creating, finding the deals and structuring it that way. And we're basically renting dirt, and I like it.
Yeah. And, you said something about financing, and I've done a lot of mobile homes and mobile home parks in the past. And I always had to buy with seller financing and sell with seller financing, just because there weren't funding options really available for traditional mobile homes. Double wides are really popular in North Carolina, right? We'd have to put permanent foundations on them to be able to get some financing. But very recently, within the last several weeks, there have been new government programs that have went into place to allow the financing of mobile homes. And I believe that Warren Buffett played a big role in getting this pushed over the finish line. And he's very heavily invested in mobile homes. Why don't you kind of share what you know about what he does in the mobile home space?
Yeah, that Warren Buffett was one of the big reasons that I gave any merit to this type of investing, because I shouldn't say that, but I had a very good friend of mine who's a very good friend, respect the hell out of the guy. And he's been investing in mobile homes for several years. And to be honest with you, I was talking to him on the phone one day. He was out collecting rent. He was like counting cash back to one of his residents. And I kind of didn't take it very seriously. I'm like, oh, that's cute. He's, my buddy's a little bit of a redneck. And, I'm like, oh, that's cute. He's playing around with his little mobile home. That's so cute. And then I started, just hearing some things and seeing some things. And he said something one day that really stuck out to me, because he was partners with a very successful real estate investor that I look up to. And they had bought basically a platted subdivision, very, very cheap at a tax auction. And he asked me if I wanted to buy it. And I'm like, well, based on what you've told me, I do want to buy it. But my question is, why don't you guys want to move forward with the project? He's like, well, my partner doesn't want to do anything that doesn't involve mobile homes. And I was like, because these guys had done big development projects. And I'm like, why in the world is he only going to want to mess with mobile homes? So that kind of like sent me on my rabbit hole. I was like, I think there's something to this. I started kind of picking his brain about the numbers and the deals that they were doing. So, it really stuck out to me. I'm like, man, this is some really good cash flow. So I went down the rabbit hole, and what I discovered was that Sam Zell, people listening know who Sam Zell is, one of the all-time Hall of Fame real estate investors in terms of commercial, multifamily, single family, you name it. The guy, skyscrapers, the guy's done it all. And it's a very funny story, kind of how Sam Zell stumbled upon mobile home parks. but I heard his story, and now Sam Zell's company is the single largest owner of mobile home parks in the country. So that obviously grabbed my attention. Then I found out, about Warren Buffett owning Clayton Homes, and then also that he owns 21st Century Mortgage, which is the number one financier of financing company of mobile homes. So I'm like, there's something to this. So I started digging into it deep last year, got our marketing and fired a couple. I'm a Texas guy, so fired a couple downrange, put a couple parks under contract, and we've got 2 more parks under contract now. And I can't remember the question, Ross. I'm just kind of going down, talking about a little bit how I discovered it. But that was what me, sent me down the rabbit hole, was hearing about Warren Buffett, gave credibility to it. So I just started getting educated, talking to people, and here we are today.
Yeah. There was a mobile home park down the street from me. I'd laugh every time I drive by it because it was called Wheel Estates.
Yeah, I like it. Might use that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, for a lot of people on the line here, we've done a lot of podcasts and YouTube shows about investing in apartment complexes. And if you live out in an area where there's no apartment complexes, you're like, great, Ross. That's going to be pretty tough to do. So you might be listening to this in a big city where there are no mobile home parks, right? But it's cool because it's like the country version of apartment complexes would be these mobile home parks. And everyone's trying to get their money into multifamily for passive cash flow in one way or another. So now you have no excuse. You're in a big city, watch one of our episodes on apartment complexes.
Yeah.
If you're in a small area, this is definitely a way to go. And with these big guys jumping in, it's really important that you pay attention. So we understand your progression here. You got into real estate and you're like, I'm going to buy a bunch of rentals. So you never decided to wholesale or fix and flip?
Whenever I first got into real estate, I knew that I was very infected with ADD. I knew that, and I was working a full-time job, and I've kind of made up my mind. I got to put blinders on. I'm only going to do one thing in real estate. And the biggest impact on my life then was a mentor who was teaching single-family residential, rental property, and told me that I could do it with no money down. And I borrowed against a credit card to buy my first deal. And then I really learned how to do creative real estate. And so I kind of, like I said, I put my head down and bought about 25 rental properties. This was 2007, 2008, part of 2009. And before I was going full time, I was doing that work in my full-time job. At that point in time, I said, you know what? These rental properties are great for my net worth, but they're not really meeting and exceeding my income needs. So that's when I started flipping houses, and I really, really love flipping houses. My first one didn't work out so great, but my second one, I made more money on my second flip than I made the previous year working my full-time job for the entire year. So I was immediately on the juice. I'm like, I'm hooked. And so I've been flipping houses for about the last 10 years. That's how we hit the Inc. 5000 list. We're scaling our business really big in the flipping model. But, I'm getting older. I'm hopefully getting wiser. And so I've kind of coming full circle the last year and a half, 2 years. I'm like, no, let me finish really what I started here and really to create a passive income business that supports my lifestyle, helps build legacy, helps other people. And that's, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of weird, but the mobile home park thing, I've never been a multifamily guy, but the mobile home park thing, I really enjoy them. They're not in my local market. I've got to drive several hours. I'm up in East Texas right now. I come up once a month to go drive to parks, meet with my business partner. But they're just, we're providing very clean, functional communities, very clean and safe communities. Unlike a lot of the typical stereotypical mobile home park where it's just kind of like white trash and just, run down and just dirty and nasty. And we're cleaning up the roads, putting in new signage, new lighting, kicking out the riffraff. There's riffraff there. I've got some stories I could tell already in just a matter less than a year. But I love the model. 80-20 rule, 80% of our residents are great people. We've got 20% that aren't our favorite. They're not so ideal. So we got to deal with that. But, we're looking to buy more. And, you mentioned, Ross, a lot of these are done with seller financing, but we finance all of ours with private money so far. And, that's kind of been one of my things always, is developing a really good relationship with my private lenders, and my private lenders are on board with these things. They've been hearing me talk about affordable housing and just kind of peeking in on some webinars and things that I've done, talking about this space of mobile homes, and they're all on board. They're financing them. I have lenders reaching out, talking about wanting to partner with me on other deals. And, I think that people realize, so I don't know what's happened, and maybe it's the Warren Buffett effect, but the mobile home park industry's it's got a buzz around it right now. And I just think that, typical housing is becoming so unaffordable for so many Americans. And you've got baby boomers who are unable to retire. And we have a lot of people that are in that category in their late 50s and 60s. And our mobile home park is home to them. And they love us because they see what we're doing, that we're cleaning it up, and they feel safe, and it feels clean, and it's well lit at night. We're putting little horizontal fences around the dumpster to make it look nicer, and put little park benches. And that's the kind of stuff that they love. So there's some feel good kind of aspects to the investment as well.
Yeah. So fences around trash cans.
Just little things, signage, fences around trash, the little dog pooper things, the bags, the painting the laundry room, get some new equipment in there. Just little things like that, man.
Yeah. You said something about having a laundromat there, which is another way to make some passive income in this land hold strategy. Cause that's really what it is. You own the dirt. People are paying you every month. You make it look nice. You got a laundromat there as well. So it must be nice to get a few extra bucks coming in.
Yeah. I just found out I saw that today and asked my business partner and said, "Hey, we're making money on this, right?" And she's like, "Yep, we signed an agreement with a local vending company, and they handle all the repairs and the yada, 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 and give us a percent." And so we got our first check already. So it's like, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that's great. So let's kind of let's say someone's watching this and they're like, cool, I want to do this. Let's just break it down into how they find the mobile home parks. Like real quick, like if you say, I want to find a mobile home park, what do you do in your head? Like what's the next step?
Yeah. So a lot of the parks that are sold are done via brokers. So if you're not wanting to put much, money into a marketing strategy, I would say begin reaching out to every, not so much real estate agent, but your commercial brokers of the world. So we got our very first deal through a commercial broker. That's how we found the deal. Other than that, the methods of, marketing for single family homes work for mobile homes. Just driving for dollars. When you're out and about and driving around, I'm in Texas and every market's different, but if you see a park, stop, get the contact information, see if the manager or the owner is there, and market to them. You can do mailers, you can do all that kind of stuff. I know other investors that do that. Our primary deal flow marketing tool for single family homes is SEO. So we're utilizing that same strategy with mobile home parks, and we begin doing search engine optimization for our parks. The deal that we're under contract now on in Louisiana was bought to us via our SEO, and as well as one that we're like this close to getting under contract is in Illinois. That was through SEO, and we've got another one that's under contract that was brought to us from a wholesaler. So that's another thing with this is another thing that I began doing, and I'm trying to do it even more so now, is letting everybody know in my market in Houston and Dallas and the Texas market, and even across the country really, is that, hey, you find a mobile home park, I'm your guy. And this last deal, which is a phenomenal deal, so far it's looking like the greatest real estate deal that's ever been brought to me, was brought to me by a wholesaler. And he wanted to take it down, just couldn't get the financing, didn't know how to structure that. And so I'm super excited about that. And the only reason he even called me, because it wasn't off a deal blast, he's like, hey, I saw something on social media that you're buying mobile home parks. And I was like, you bet that I am. And so he sent it to me. So, Ross, a lot of the traditional methods of marketing for real estate work for parks.
Yeah.
The coolest thing is that I found, and it's almost like I don't want to share it, but my acquisitions guy was on a appointment the other day to buy a house, and the lady pulled out a notebook, and she had like 13 other wholesalers or investors' names and numbers. She was like, all right, let me get your information down. There's like 12 or 13 here before. When we're negotiating on these parks, we're not competing with anybody else. The second park that I bought, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and I put under contract for $150,000. And there's 15 lots, it was $10,000 a lot. And I thought, man, this is a smoking deal. This is a great deal. No electric bill, no water bill. It's kind of ideal. But I talked to Frank Rolfe, actually, Mobile Home University, told him about the deal. He's like, it's not worth your time. He's like, I wouldn't even do that deal. You find a bigger deal. And I was like, well, I'm kind of already under contract, and these people really like me and trust me. Should I just back out? He's like, yeah, unless you get it for $100,000. I was like, I'll ask. So I called him. I'm like, look, I'm just going to terminate. I don't want you to think I'm one of those guys. I kind of rushed the gun. Keep my earnest money. I apologize. I'm sure you can sell your part for $150,000. Long story short, they're like, what would you pay for it? And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And finally I said, okay, I'll buy it for $100,000, but I know you're not going to accept that. So that's okay. Keep my earnest money. Like, okay, fine. We'll sell it for $100,000. So I was like, okay, we'll buy it for $100,000. So in this other park that we're negotiating now, it's kind of the same thing where, he's burned out, hasn't put any money into it, doesn't know what he's doing. And he doesn't have any other people like really lining up to make him offers. So there's a lot of opportunity for us, and there's conversely opposite in single family. So that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, that's exciting. And actually right now we're going to announce the winner of the PIN pre-MLS software. And you can go in there and you can locate mobile home parks, which I need to go ahead and show you, because in my head, I'm thinking there's only so many mobile home parks. Find them all and just call them and
market. Yeah.
Constantly knock on their doors, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
They watch our podcast. They comment. They went to exactlyhow.com to get all the free stuff that we give away there. They probably even downloaded the book that's in the description. And they're now winning a $3,000 software that could change your life. Their name is Dean Michael. Dean, congratulations. We'll go ahead and get you all set up with the software. And if you're interested in the mobile home side of things, we'll show you where that exists as well. So awesome, Brant. Well, we talked about how to find them. It sounds like figuring out the numbers behind these mobile home parks is relatively simple in comparison to some other numbers. So what's your rule of thumb that you use for someone to look at a deal to say, hey, is this going to be a good deal?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's based on cap rates, right? Because it's essentially a commercial property. But what are the key things to ask, I guess, if there's an investor out there who runs across one, is first and foremost, how many lots and what are the lot rents, right? It's very similar to multifamily. How many lots? What are the lot rents? What is the occupancy rate? How many actually people are paying those rents? And then you want to know the breakdown of how many are park-owned homes, meaning the owner owns a park, or resident-owned homes. Ideally, we want the residents to own all the homes. We've inherited some park-owned homes that we are basically giving away or owner financing to the residents. And then the next thing, it's all about income and expenses. You want to know what your expenses are. Is it all bills paid, meaning the owner's paying all the electricity? Is it, are they individually metered for electric? What's the water situation? Are they individually metered for water? Is it well water? What's the sewer or septic situation like? And you just got to begin breaking down all those pieces, finding out, what other contracts the seller has. Is there, it sounds crazy. Is there Wi-Fi? We have Wi-Fi at one of our parks. What other, is there trash? So you just really start digging into those expenses. I'll tell you, we're looking to buy at a 12 cap is what we're looking at, because that's what we've been able to do so far. But there's a lot of investors. You mentioned the REITs and the Blackstones and these groups moving into the marketplace. They're buying at 8 caps, and that's our goal. Is one of our the first park that we bought is that we're looking to sell that one hopefully this year, which would be about a 12-month flip with, it's not going to be a 7-figure net kind of thing, but it could be not too far from that. And, cause we know what they're looking for. And so that's what we're trying to create for them, like looking at the exit strategy in mind, whether it be with the REIT or just another investor. I'm not sure if I answered that question.
Yeah, no, that was great. So you're talking about going in, finding mobile home parks, understanding what all the expenses are, who pays what, right? Just running through that whole gambit. And then when you get in there, you increase rents, you make the mobile home park nicer, and then you can sell it to some of these big institutional buyers that are coming in.
Yep. Simple as that, really. You're going to probably have to fix the roads, do some signage, clean up the grounds, maybe throw some park benches out, throw some lighting up, whatever it may be. And there's not a whole lot. And you begin to do those things. People love you. We've already raised rents in both of our parks also.
Yeah. And I was actually just pulling up my phone. So U.S. private equity moves into trailer parks. Blackstone bets on manufactured housing, purchasing of 14 communities. So this is happening right here, right now. That's why you're part of Connected Investors, and you listen to the Exactly How podcast to figure out the latest techniques that are out there to spot the trends right in time, so you can have a close to 7-figure check is really what you're talking about here. And you're making money throughout the process, and you're borrowing private money. So you're using private lenders. So it's not really costing you anything. And, the episode sponsor is privatelenders.com. So make sure to check out privatelenders.com if you don't yet have a private lender, so you can find the right private lender for your deal. And you're off to the races. So yeah, I appreciate that breakdown. This has been very informational.
Hey man, I really enjoyed it.
All right. Now, do you have time for the most important question?
It depends. That's my answer to all. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Sure.
All right. What do you think your life would be like if you were still working your corporate job and never made the switch into real estate?
I mean, I was very depressed at what I was doing, just to be quite honest with you. I believe that I would have made the most out of it, and tried to have a good attitude. But, man, I saw my father go through the grind of kind of just middle class uncertainty with the job, get laid off several times. We lost everything. My parents went through bankruptcy, foreclosure, all that kind of stuff as a child. And I saw myself basically following the same footsteps. And I put myself in a bad position. I'm like, I'm dependent upon this job that I hate. And the thought was depressing for me. So Ross, to be honest with you, I hope I would have made the most, and I'm generally an optimist. And but I don't know, man. I know that I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm able to do now, which is travel and just kind of set my own day and my own week and work who I want to work with and create financial freedom. So I know those things wouldn't be the case, and it would just. Probably wouldn't be a pretty picture, man. I don't regret. Real estate's not always easy, but the trials and tribulations that I've gone through, I absolutely don't regret any of them.
Yeah. No, thanks for getting real personal there and really sharing your internal transformation there. And guys, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, take a look at some of the comments and take a look at the links in the description, because we've taken all of the best from all of these podcasts, everything that I've done in my life, all of the software, and created one of the best free trainings where we give you the calculators you need so you can figure out the cap rates. We break down the contracts. We show you a step-by-step plan. And even if you're experienced, the first half of the webinar is for very experienced investors to show them advanced techniques on how to find deals. So don't think this is just some newbie training that just people who've never done a deal need to watch. Take a look at least the first 20 minutes of it. You'll be blown away. And if you are brand new, by the end of the training, everything is covered A to Z. So that's my homework assignment for you. Make sure to check out the training in the description of this video. All right, Brant, are you ready for the rapid fire section?
Let's go.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
5.
Get up early or stay up late?
Used to be, I don't know how to answer. I used to stay up late. Now I get up early. I've changed.
How many hours of sleep do you usually get?
6.
What's your favorite or most recent book that you read?
Shoe Dog, Phil Knight, incredible book.
If you could be any superhero, who would it be?
Superman, of course.
Yeah, on a previous podcast, someone said Warren Buffett. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's pretty cool.
What is something everyone should do less of?
What should worry?
What is something everyone should do more of?
Take action.
Will people visit Mars in your lifetime?
No.
Bitcoin, bang or bust?
Don't know. Honestly.
Don't know. There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Brant, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule here to chat with us. Good luck on your ventures. And for anyone here who might have a mobile home park, if you go to exactlyhow.com, you can hit the show notes, and we'll make sure that you can maybe reach out to Brant in some way, shape, or form, so you can maybe sell him a mobile home park. And please, if you've made it to the end of the show, you obviously found some value. Make sure to comment, give us a like, a thumbs up. Your engagement is really what fuels us and pushes us to keep finding more individuals like Brant and keep bringing you the latest techniques. If you don't comment, if you don't like and share and subscribe, I'm going to spend my time doing something else. So if you found any value at all in this, please, you personally, don't think someone else is going to do it. You go ahead and give us a thumbs up and just say, "Great show, Ross," or something. This way we know you're out there. And it also helps other people find us. The more you interact, the higher we show up on search engines and stuff like that. So we're trying to get this information out to as many people as possible. Thank you for being part of Connected Investors, and I'll see you on the inside. Make sure to grab your book. It's in the description.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.